You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. We are so happy to have you here, whether you're watching or listening. This is It's All About Dating. Who doesn't love to talk about dating? I know I sure do. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and with me is the star of our show, Lori Mendelsohn, dating coach and matchmaker extraordinaire. How are you?
I'm great, Dr. Jacalyn. So good to see you again every week. I love being here with you.
I love it too. And I just am so excited as we are growing and transforming. And we're going to have the official launch of USA Global TV in January the 10th. And I'm just glad that you're a part of this whole process, Lori.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. So we have such an amazing guest today. This is someone who I met her on Clubhouse. I am in awe of her. I am in awe of what she's accomplished, the skills, the connections, where she's been published, et cetera, et cetera. She is someone to be reckoned with. So I'm so excited to be speaking with her.
I am excited also. I just met her backstage, but before we bring her out, a couple of things. Yeah. I would love to have you share with our audience, when you say you met her, right? Some people aren't familiar with Clubhouse. It's an app that's a social media platform, and it's audio only. It's on the phone. So how and when did you realize you had a connection with her? Do you realize or remember which room you were in or what the conversation was? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, when you go on Clubhouse, you choose what you're interested in, what your likes are, what your hobbies are. And mine are relationships, dating, and business. And it gives you a whole bunch of clubs to follow and people to follow. And the first time that I heard Jennifer speaking, she was with a woman whose name is Susie, who I've also become close to. And she was just throwing out these nuggets that I literally had to pull over and stop. And I grabbed a receipt that I had in my car, and I'm writing all of these things down. And I took a screenshot of her and of Susie, and I connected with Jennifer and Susie, not to take the shine away from Jennifer, and started listening to the rooms that she was in. And she had great guests, and she was just throwing out such great advice rather than, well, you should do this or you should do that. You know, these people who are so-called experts who, you know, no disrespect to them, but they really don't have the life experience that Jennifer has. So that's how I met Jennifer. This is the first time we've actually met each other and seen each other in person, so to speak, you know, virtually. But I was just enthralled with her and so impressed by everything that she's done. So I'm so happy she's here.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I want to let our audience know that you are killing it on Clubhouse. I have seen so much growth from you, seriously, from when you first started on the stage and now running your own rooms with the level of talent and expertise that you bring. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's my girl.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. You know, the thing is that Dr. Renee Moudry and I have really aligned. And she was our guest last week, and she has a following. She has, I think, 11,000, 12,000 followers. And in her emotion club, she has 20,000 followers. So she created a room for both of us all about dating. So we're partners in that. So it's really an honor to be aligned with someone that powerful, that she thinks that much of my expertise, and just happy to share that and help people on Clubhouse and provide value. I hate that word, provide value, but that's what we're doing. We're helping people. And that's the gist of Clubhouse. So thank you.
You sure are. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you. So let's bring our guest out. Jennifer Hurvitz is a relationship expert, dating coach, and podcast host. And she's joining us from Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome.
I'm back here like tearing up. Lori, I'm Dr. Jacalyn. I'm just so honored to be here and thank you for having me. But Lori, such kind words. And I have to get my stuff together because I'm literally I feel the same about you. That Clubhouse thing is just, it either works or it doesn't. And yes. Lori, I adore you. Thank you for having me, Dr. Jacalyn. Thank you.
It's all true. I wasn't just, throwing everything
my gosh.
There are rooms that are just.
I know.
Really, and then there's the people who, anyway, you get it.
I get it. I do. Well, thanks for having me, girls. This is so fun.
We are so excited to have you. And we are going to talk a little bit later about Clubhouse and your experience. And I think it would be kind of good for our audience if we shared maybe some of the additional nuggets that we each get out of it. And then some of the things that are maybe not so great, and just try to keep it real. But before we do that, we'd love to hear about how you got started as a relationship expert, dating coach, and podcast host. Jennifer.
Oh my gosh, where do I start? Okay, well, I guess I'll go really, really way back to the beginning, but not so much. So I was married for 13 years and a stay-at-home mom. And, like everybody else, you think you're going to be married forever, the white picket fence and everything else and blah, blah, blah. And next thing I knew, I was divorced. And, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was a stay-at-home mom. I'd given up my career to raise my babies, which I loved. Don't get me wrong, but long and short of it, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a career. I was, luckily I had a happy divorce. I say happy. I tell people I'm not thrilled or happy to be divorced, but I did have a happy, amicable divorce. So my husband, I call him my husband. I don't call him my ex. I call him my husband. My husband and I are really good friends. I'm very lucky. I know that. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to start writing. I guess I'll write a blog. And I didn't really even know what I was doing, but it kind of caught on and everybody kind of liked it and people started reading it and blah, blah, blah. And here we go and rolling, everything kept going. Blog. And then, website came and then I decided to write a book. And next thing I knew, I wrote a book and I'm making it long and short so we can get onto it. But, so I wrote a book and people said to me, they reached out and said, you're writing and talking about everything that I'm feeling. It was cathartic for me, and I didn't realize it was helping other people, which I love. So my first book is called One Happy Divorce, Hold the Bullshit. And after that, I started my podcast, Doing Relationships Right, and it just everything kind of snowballed from there. I wrote a screenplay, and it won a couple of film festivals, and I'm shopping it in LA, lots of good stuff going on. But yeah, so that's that. And now I'm a relationship coach and a dating coach, and I love it. And thanks for having me. I love being here.
Okay, so husband, screenplay, book. What?
It's a lot. I tried to talk so fast because I'm I know we only have 40 minutes. I know
we have time.
I know we do have time, but I want to help people. So if we get to, I don't want to talk about me. It's enough.
Yeah, but we want to talk about you.
We want to talk about you. The show is about you.
Oh my gosh. I'm so used to being a podcast host that I'm used to having my guests on and talking about them. This is different for me. So
yeah.
So I have some things that I want to ask, but I'm going to defer to Lori.
Yeah. So Jennifer, the name Doing Relationships Right. Yeah. Where did that come from? What spurred that? How'd you come to that?
Okay, well, it used to be Doing Divorce Right. So when I first started my podcast, so I feel like it evolved with me. So I started my podcast, it was Doing Divorce Right. I was divorced. I was in a different space. And then as I started realizing you're divorced, you're in a certain space in your life and then you evolve and then things change. And I actually got a relationship and I've been in it for a long time. And then I realized that negative kind of space after the divorce kind of changed into this real positive space where I was I kind of like this guy and I kind of like being in a relationship and it's kind of happy and I can help people date now. And so I decided to broaden it just this past January, I changed it to Doing Relationships Right. And it opened this whole new world for me. And I realized that instead of divorce coaching, I am actually a certified divorce specialist. Instead of divorce coaching and co-parenting and that kind of thing, I flipped to, which I like to pivot. I think that's cool that you can pivot things into your different areas. I decided that my jam was I love to write. right? So writing online dating profiles is like my favorite thing to do. And so if I could help people date and write their profiles, I was like, wait a minute, this is my jam. Let's like help people date. So it just all came to fruition. And here I am. So it just turned out to be like the best thing that ever happened to me. So I love it.
And you can see how much you love it. You can see how passionate you are about it. That's so exciting.
I love it.
We talked a little bit before this show about the fact that there is a difference between a matchmaker and a dating coach or relationship expert. So could you two weigh in on that?
Yeah.
I'm going to start with Lori first.
Please, Lori.
Yeah, the thing is, a matchmaker really, I'll speak from what I do, because I think what I do is normally pretty different than what a traditional matchmaker does. I'll start with what a traditional matchmaker does. They have a database. They have a 1 or 2 page sheet of what are your likes and dislikes, what are your hobbies, what are you looking for, and then they go into their database and they look and see who matches those hobbies and those likes or dislikes or those interests. That's how they match. And they're not basing it on a deep soul level. They're basing it on hobbies. Okay, well, you could meet 300 people that have the same hobbies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that would be a good match for you. What I do as a matchmaker is I really get to know the person deeply, their likes and their dislikes, but I go into their background, their life, when they started dating, how they dated, what is their attachment style, what happened in their past relationships, how have they healed themselves, how have they gotten past their blocks and barriers and helped them with that. That's how I matchmake. A dating coach, and now Jennifer, over to you.
We should work together. Actually, that would be awesome. Just for you first, and you fix them, and I'll take them. I love it. So like I'm not a matchmaker at all. But when someone comes to me, I work with one person instead of working to match them. I don't have the other side of it. So when someone comes to me and they sit down, we do what I call a list of non-negotiables, and we figure out what exactly the person's looking for based on them, right? But I go deep also. I mean, I get to the nitty gritty little itty bitty things, like down to like, if they really if they want kids, if they don't want kids, if they want to date long distance, if they don't want to date, like really specific things. And I hold them accountable, which a dating coach is that's what we're supposed to do. We're there to be your cheerleader. We're there to be your, unbiased opinion. I'm a friend, I'm a cheerleader, I'm all that, but I'm also going to hold you accountable. I'm kind of tough. So if you come to me and you say, I don't want to date someone with kids, and then you go on Match.com and you meet a guy with kids and you call me up and you say, Jen, I found this guy. He's amazing, but he has 3 kids. I'm going to say, When we met, you told me you didn't want to date a guy with kids. And she go, oh, no, I love it. He's the best. I love it. No. You don't get to date that guy with kids because 3 weeks ago you told me you didn't want to. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I love it. So it actually is, it all works out. And, but I don't have that guy on the other side or that woman on the other side. Right. So I tell people I help you get them and help you keep them, because as a relationship expert or coach or whatever you want to call me, I'm able to help you once you start dating that guy or that woman, keep that relationship going, because we all forget that relationships are like plants. You have to water them. You have to keep them growing. You have to keep them going, and they have to be cultivated and nourished. So if you just stop after they meet and they're on their way, how can you help that person stay with that person, the other person they meet? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right. And we were talking off stage, before the show started, about people ask, well, what is your success rate? For me, that's my success rate. I can get chemistry together. I can get mutual attraction together, but it's the responsibility of the people in the relationship to make it work, not mine. I'm not, I can't do that.
You're like, listen, I'm doing the best. Here's your guy. Like, now you can't. Like, that makes me crazy when people ask success rates of matches, because it makes zero sense to me. Yeah. Because you can do all you can do at the front end, but how can you control 2 people's actions once they get started? You can't. So there is I don't believe in that at all. It's my opinion. Take it or leave it, but I don't even.
When should someone reach out to hire a dating coach? Is it after a failed relationship? Is it the first? Yeah. So.
You know what? I think this is my opinion too. And of course, everything's my opinion, but some research based, but I think that when somebody is so frustrated either so frustrated that they've been on the apps and they hate dating, right? And they're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm frustrated. And they need some guidance, or they don't know how to decipher which app to use, or they just are done with, they're throwing their hands up, or they've come out of their marriage and they've done work on themselves, right? And they know that they're ready to date and they want to do it right the first time. They don't want to go through all the mishigas, right? Through all the crap and deal with all that. They want to start off right the first time. So I get both of those clients. I get the clients that come to me and they're like, look, I'm not going on those dating apps without you. I need your help. I'm not going to mess around. And then I get the ones who are like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I've been on the apps for 6 months. I need your help. That's when I think, Lori, do you agree that that's kind of what you get? Or
I do.
Yeah.
I do, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do. And I also think you said the key word here, that they've done the work on themselves.
Yes.
A lot of people, they'll get divorced, they'll jump right on in because they have this big, huge Grand Canyon void of love.
That's what I did.
They need to fill. And
biggest mistake ever made.
They're dating, it's not working. They're not healed yet. They can't give what they aren't.
You're singing
Can
to the
I
choir.
tell you, the day that my divorce papers came, I went out and I met the next guy and I dated him for 12 years. It was a total disaster.
Oh my God. You're kidding me. You're like my client. That's what I did. The same thing. I was like, I'm fine. I got this. I'm good. I was like, every mistake a person could make in the dating world, that's what I did. So when I'm coaching, I'm like, oh no, that's what I did. And you're not doing, like, you just live through that's what makes us good coaches. And that's what makes us, we have life experience, right? We know how to mess it up. Now we can fix it. I love it. That's like, I think that's how it works the best. So
I love it too.
That's a great question.
Thanks. I love this conversation, but we have to take a break. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen and watch this beautiful music video. Lori, I think you've seen it before. The Debutantes, Victoria and Lavinia, over on Instagram. Go to Instagram right now, look up the Debutantes, and you'll see these two beautiful women and listen to this lovely song. It just makes you feel so happy. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. Thank you to Victoria and Lavinia, the Debutantes, over on Instagram. In our first segment, we welcome Jennifer Hurvitz, our guest, and we just got finished talking about the difference between a dating coach, relationship expert, and a matchmaker. So welcome back. Lori, would you like to take the first question for our guest?
Yes, I would, from our audience, Zink and Little Bit. Jennifer, those are my dogs. So Jennifer, there are quite a few dating coaches on Clubhouse.
So many.
And we've probably met or heard most of them. How do you differentiate yourself from them?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
How did you get to that?
Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing. First of all, oh my God, that's such a good question. First of all, I think I'm pretty authentic and I'm pretty raw and I think I'm pretty real and I don't really hold much back. And I think on Clubhouse, if we could just go there for a second, there was a lot of, I felt like a lot of people were just kind of, if we can explain it, it's a voice. There's no video, so you can't see anybody talking. And as you can see me now, I talk with my hands, or maybe you're listening, but I move around and I'm gesturing. But it's a lot of people in Clubhouse were kind of giving speeches, or they were giving like little mini like TED Talk lectures and that kind of thing, which is fine. Everyone does their own thing, but I really am there to help and to give back. And that was my goal. It wasn't to get followers. It wasn't to raise my numbers and that kind of thing. I just really like what I do. I think that really is what makes me different. Although I also coach a little bit differently. I think we talked about this before, and I hope that's okay that I'm going there. I don't believe in a lot of maybe it's the younger coaches. I think maybe it's telling my age here, but I don't believe in juggling. a lot of people when you're dating. Like, I don't believe in dating 16 people at the same time. I don't think you should have people on the back burner. That's just how I coach. I coach that you should date one person at a time. And I get a lot of pushback for that. But I stick to it. And I really think that it works better that way when you can give one person your time and your energy, and you're not always looking for the bigger, better deal, if that makes sense. So right off the bat, when I start, when I'm in a clubhouse room or I'm, meeting clients, right off the bat, when I go tell my approach that way, you either like it or you don't. So I guess that's either good or bad for me, but that's typically how it happens. People either like me, I'm like, easy peasy, rice and cheesy. You either like me or you don't, based on how I coach, right? So.
Okay, I have a follow-up to that. So
Sure.
how does someone, I know dating 16 people, is totally insane.
Yeah.
But how do you get to, let's say, going out with someone?
Oh, I just did a reel.
3 times, and then you determine that you want to make that person exclusive.
Okay, so this
You
is what I
do
do.
need to date a couple of people that maybe you don't agree, but to funnel it in.
Well, I'll tell you, this is so funny. I just did a reel, TikTok, whatever, on this, whatever they're called, video. And I got it was the craziest thing. So many people were like, yes, thank you, all this, whatever. I really feel like, and this is just me, when you sit down on that first date, there is nothing wrong, ladies. There is nothing wrong with you saying that you are looking for a long-term relationship or you are looking for a commitment. You are not crazy. You are not needy. You are just establishing what you are looking for. And by doing that, you're basically saying, look, if that's not what you're looking for, move on. Because if you don't say what you want, on that first, literally, first date, second date, third date, if you're not saying what you're looking for, you're setting yourself up for that guy to keep dating, right? So I'm not saying that you should say to someone, look, I want to marry you. You're the person I want to be with, because that's impossible. You can't possibly know that on a first date or a second date or third, right? But what you can say is, look, I'm looking for something long-term. I really would like a long-term commitment in the future. I'd like to date one person, and let's try this till it doesn't work anymore. Whether that's 3 dates or 3 weeks or 12 years, let's just try it until it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, we go on our separate ways, and there's no harm done. And then you date the next person. And everybody that I coach this way says to me, oh my God, it actually works, because you're not constantly looking, you're not swiping, you're not buzzing, you're not beeping. There's not a next person coming in that might be better than the one sitting across the table from you. You're actually giving that person a chance. You're giving them a fair shot, because how can you give someone a fair shot when they're always looking for something better? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think it makes sense. I have a question though.
Yeah.
So what if when you meet this person, there's no chemistry?
Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying to stay with someone. Here's the thing. For example, I don't want to talk too much about it. When I met my boyfriend, for example, we went on one date, was fine, whatever. Second date, he looked at me, he's like, look, Jen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go off all the apps. I just think, we have great chemistry, and I like you. I think you're cool, and let's just try this. I was like, my God, he's crazy. What a crazy. But you know what? Women want to be wanted.
Yes.
They want to be wanted. And you know what? I was like, wholly vulnerable, wholly hot, wholly sexy. Hell yes, I'm going. Because you know what? I don't want to be in my apps. Why would I want to be in my apps? Now, granted, we had some back history. His friends knew my friends, and we knew each other, so it was a little bit different. But I said, oh, okay, well, sure. I'll go off mine too. And 5 years later. So I'm not saying that happens all the time, but I am saying we just gave each other a chance to work. I'm not saying you got to be with this. Let's be real. You're not going to be with every person this happens with, but at least there's a shot, an honest to goodness shot, because otherwise that guy, when he leaves that table, he's got 5 other girls that he's talking to at the same time. And if one of those girls, and then one little thing that you do wrong, you flip your hair wrong, or you pick your teeth by accident, he's like, I don't like her. I got this one over here.
I don't know, teeth picking, that could be
I know. For me, I'm done. I'm like, you pick your teeth, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like it's a more, and people are like, well, you're so needy if you say it. You're not needy. You're not cuckoo. You're being honest. All you're saying is, it may not be with you that I want the long-term relationship, but this is what I'm looking for. And the girls that go out to the first date and they're like, I don't know what I want. I'm not sure what I want. They're giving all this BS. Who are they fooling? Who are they wasting? Whose time are they wasting? Their own.
Yes.
I mean,
if they don't know what they want, it's probably because they haven't done the work on themselves. They haven't taken the time to figure out who they are so they can determine who can, you know, complete.
And also, I'm sorry to interrupt. In my opinion, any girl that says they want friends with benefits, any girl that says I just want a guy to sleep, whatever, she doesn't really. She doesn't. She's got something, self-esteem or confidence or something, trauma, something is going on. There's not and men too. I think they're insecure. They don't want to be vulnerable. They haven't done the work on themselves. Like you said, really, honestly, who wants to be it's all that mishigas and craziness and the stress levels and it's hard. Relationships are difficult enough where you've got to be with someone who's sleeping with 5 other people. I don't know. It's just my opinion.
I was in a clubhouse room where that was actually the discussion topic. Yeah. And it was very interesting because men and women had very different opinions, but yet there were men who like relationships, friendships with benefits, and there were also women. Sure. And then when they kind of drilled down on it, it was basically that they were missing something in their life and they were just kind of desperate for someone. And so it's just like, oh, I'll just take them because they're available to me.
Or they're scared. Sometimes people are scared to admit that they want more because they're worried the other person doesn't want it too, right? So they're like, I'm not going to say how I really feel because if I'm vulnerable and I say that I really want more and that person doesn't say it, I'm going to be hurt. But are you going to be more hurt when you date this person for 5 months and he still says to you, all I want is friends with benefits, and you've caught all the feels and you've caught the feelings, and then so which is worse? Mm-hmm. That's what I kind of talk to my clients about too. I'm like, girl, do you want it up front or in the, it's like, so.
Chicken or the egg.
Right.
When we were younger, I believe we're all around the same age. Mm-hmm. We didn't have all these options.
Right.
You met people from college, you met people in your community, your friends, your neighbors. There wasn't this constant flow of brand new, I'm going to say it, meat coming in that you could swipe on. Okay,
exactly.
This work out. There are 10 more coming tomorrow.
Right.
Oh, tomorrow there's 20. It just didn't happen.
Exactly.
You made the investment. You spent the time developing a relationship with that person.
Yep.
Because you knew that you knew something about them, but you also didn't have this feeling that, it didn't even exist, right? That there were 20 other people who you could date. It just wasn't there.
I was on a date once and we were on, this guy and I had gone out 6 times, 6 dates. And we had, if I can be honest, we had relations, and we were sitting at the table at dinner and he pulled out his phone and he says, what do you think about this girl? I'm not kidding you. He pulled up his match profile. He asked me my advice on another girl he was going out with the next night. And I said, what? And he said, yeah. He said, we didn't have a conversation yet. We didn't talk about it. I just figured we were, and I said, no, I figured nothing. I stood up, I got an Uber and I left. But I would have put myself through so much less drama, wasted so much less time had I said to him on that first date, look, I got to let you know, I'm not going to be dating you if you're sleeping with other people or if you're dating other people. That shows respect for myself. Yep. It shows respect for my time and my energy, right? Yep. I was
very true.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Wow.
We've covered quite a lot.
Yes, we have. Let's do another hour.
Yes, we're going to take another break and we're going to listen to Tony Moore. I love this one. Lori, you've seen this music video, his rendition of Route 66. Tony Moore, let's take a look and then we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. If you're just joining us, my co-host is Lori Mendelsohn and our guest is Jennifer Hurvitz. And we've covered all kinds of topics. I just want to say thank you to Mr. Tony Moore, who was formerly of Iron Maidens, and he has won all kinds of awards. He's a singer-songwriter out of the UK. So we're always happy to bring artists' work here and share it with the United States. All right, so how would you like to spend the last part of our segment here on the show, Jennifer?
Oh my gosh, I get to pick. I don't know. Whatever you guys want. I can't believe how fast that went.
I know.
We're almost done. Wow.
Whatever
you guys want to talk about, you tell me. Whatever you'd like.
So I think I'd like to conclude in reference to the pandemic. So you guys are both in the area of bringing people together, right? Joining people, if it's matchmaking or dating, relationships. So what are you finding with the pandemic now that people are in most places here in this country, outside this country, it's different, but what are you finding in terms of people looking for long-term commitments, people just maybe wanting to do work on themselves because there's a lot of loneliness and depression, people wanting to get married? I'll start with you, Lori.
Well, Dr. Jacalyn, what I'm finding is that people just want to get out and date, that they don't know what they want yet. They just know that they have been so love-starved and so affectionate-starved that they just want to be held. They just want human contact again, and they're not making any decisions on, I've got to find someone I want. It's more, God, let's just be around humans again. But, with the Delta variant, people are now stepping back again.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen. So Jennifer, over to you.
Oh, hi. It's so funny. I read something somewhere. Maybe you guys can help me out. I don't have a stat because I don't remember it, but I did read that people, you know where it was? I do remember. OkCupid. They did but I don't know the percentage. They said that people that were coming out of the pandemic were actually looking for the rise in long-term relationships was up. But I feel like, Lori, like you, my personal opinion, like my clients are like, no, just look like you, like, let's just date. Let's just get back out there. They're sick of holding a phone. They're sick of the video conferencing. They're sick of the Zoom calls. They just want to be in person and touching. Yep. So I do agree with what you're saying, Lori. Absolutely. And also I feel like I'm really sick of being inside. My boyfriend's kind of bugging me. It's hard. I mean, isn't it hard? Like we've all been like so cooped up, and everyone is like on each other's nerves, and it's tough. I can understand why the divorce rate is definitely where it is.
Birth rates are up too. I just found that out.
What?
Birth rates. A lot of people were getting very frisky during the pandemic. There was nothing else to do.
Well, that's a good thing. That's like my September 11th. That's like my son was born the September 11th baby. Yeah.
So it's either one way or the other, right? They're getting divorced or they're having a baby.
They're like, leave me alone, right? They're like, you having a baby? Yeah, exactly. It's very interesting though. This whole COVID thing has been very, very tough on a lot of people. So, if people are having babies, that's good. That's a good thing. More power to them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer, we've come to the end of our program, and I'd love to just spotlight you and have you share with us what is the best way for people to reach out to you, and who should reach out to you?
Oh, thank you. Anybody. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Jacalyn and Lori. This has been so great. Everyone can find me. It's so easy. It's jenniferhurvitz.com. And please listen to my podcast if you feel like it resonates with you. It's Doing Relationships Right. And yeah, just come hang out with me. I'd love to have you. And thank you for having me. This has been awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been our pleasure. We look forward to having you back again.
Oh, anytime.
All right. And where can people find you on Clubhouse?
Oh my gosh, I don't do it anymore. Unless Lori had me in her room, I would only go for Lori. Besides that, I'm not kidding you. I would go for Lori, but that's about it. I was on there for a month and everything was great. And now I'm just, Instagram for me is where I am. I hang out on Instagram. My podcast is in full swing, so I'm super busy.
All right. Well, that's great. Can I just give a quick plug for Clubhouse, which I'm not a paid spokesperson. I keep waiting for the check, but it's not coming. Anyway, I go into Breakfast with Champions in the morning.
Oh, I like that too.
Have you gone in there?
And some of I love her.
Major people on there who have accomplished so much in so many ways, not just monetarily. And so they were talking about this challenge called 75 Hard, which is for 75 days. Have you heard of it?
Yes, because Donna Bowling, she's one of the people that's in charge of it. Yeah, she spells it Dana, but it's Donna Bowling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine, so she's in that room. She heads it up. She's one of the mods.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, anyway, I heard about this challenge. I bought the book. I downloaded the app. I've been listening to the podcasts, and you have to, for 75 days, you have to work out twice a day for 45 minutes, which I usually work out for 2.5 hours a day anyway, but you have to separate it so it's 45 and 45. And one of the workouts has to be outside. You have to drink a gallon of water a day. So I'm starting on Sunday, but I've already started doing these things. And then you have to follow any diet you want, but you can't have certain foods. You have to read 10 pages from an entrepreneurial book, something to help you grow and So anyway, that's one of the things I got out of it. I'm very excited. I'm starting Sunday, as I mentioned, and I've already got the workouts in. I've already got the water in.
Good for you.
So
let us know how it goes. Where can we follow you?
75 days, yes.
We're going to follow you. We're going to find, we'd like to, you post about it. I saw you posting, so I can't wait to hear.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. No, you know what it's about? It's about mental toughness. It's about mental strength.
I don't have any.
And I'm pretty strong. So this is the next challenge.
Girl. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
All right. Thank you again for being here, Jennifer. We'll look forward to seeing you back again. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jennifer.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Lori Mendelsohn, I'm going to spotlight you. What's the best way for people to reach you, and who should contact you?
People who want to also learn how to date in a very different way. I mean, Jennifer and I, she's amazing. I don't want to, I do dating coaching as well. And I write profiles, and I also do matchmaking. So smartfunnysingle.com, and I am on Clubhouse at Matchmaker Lori. So I have a room every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. with Dr. Renee in the Emotion Club, and we talk about dating. And it is a very deep dive, a psychological look into why, how, where we do certain things to help really ease you from the issues that people are having and the challenges. So hope everyone will join us.
Thank you, Lori. It's so good seeing you. And we had a great show with Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, Lori. See you later.
Bye, Dr. Jacalyn.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. As you know, we have 18 shows a week, and we started out on Zoom last year after I retired from my corporate work to follow my passion, which is broadcasting and really having people come forward from around the world to tell their story and share what they've been going through. So if you'd like to be a guest on our show, please go to drjacalyn.com and book your session. Many of our shows are booked out 6 months already, but we would still love to have you sign up. Right after this, we're coming back with our next show, which is A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. And finally, if you would like to take all of your energy that you might be channeling in the wrong direction, and you are maybe lost, or you just want a new challenge and you'd like to join me in the 75 Hard Challenge, please do reach out. It's not going to be easy, but nothing that's worthwhile is. So you can go to drjacalyn.com and you can contact me there, and you can be part of our elite group of people who are actually putting themselves out there, doing things that are challenging, not just sitting around watching social media all the time, for example, or Netflix, but really making a difference and taking their mental and physical strength to the next level. Thank you again for being here. We'll see you soon.